Hey everyone, I'm so excited to have you join us today. If you enjoy, you're in the right place. Before we dive into today's video, if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on our future content. We're building an awesome community here, and I'd love for you to be a part of it. One couldn't help but be surprised. There was a woman who looked like an angel. Next to her, there was a burly man in a suit, drowning, and said, "Who are you? Are you perhaps her fans?" Rio replied, "Hard pardon. We just moved in on the floor below." When he saw the rice cake, he realized that situation, and he said, "So you're just here to introduce yourselves?" "Yes, have some of this rice cake." The guard ignored one, and he said, "It's fine, she doesn't eat things like that." When the man opening the door, he looked at her and said, "Please." Front door closed. Rio was startled, and Rio said, "I don't know what he's doing, but he's so rude." Rio looked at his brother. His younger brother looked dazed, perhaps shocked. Rio said to him, "Wonnie, don't mind guys like him." One said, "I'm fine, but did you see? This is amazing." Roy was surprised. He thought his brother was shocked. Rio said, "What is?" Suddenly his brother grabbed him and said, "What do you mean? You saw her too. It's SCYTHE. Rio said with an indifferent face. "SCYTHE? Who's that?" Enter news. Actor Gong Ji-seok dies from a heart attack. Fans are devastated. South Korean star Chil-woo was unable to wake up from narcolepsy. The another star is gone. According to the investigation results, only 58% of celebrities who were taken to the other world have survived. Actor Gwang Min-ho takes a break from criminal land because of anxiety. As she skimmed through the article, her fingers stopped. It was because of the message that came up. "Aaron, did you hear the news? Senior Gung passed away." She said, "Yeah, are you going to go to the funeral tomorrow?" "I should. Sunbae used to take care of us a lot." "Then let's go together." "All right." After exchanging messages with her close friend, Seo Aaron let out a long sigh. What happening to this world? Even though Sunbaes, who were much more famous than me, couldn't survive the first round. If it weren't for the rune, I would have been on the news too. I guess I've gotten pretty famous. Just assume that I'd be the news if I died. Would I even have made it this far if it weren't for the sponsorships? This penthouse was also provided for me. "What are you thinking, Miss Aaron?" A man in a suit who had just finished checking the house came up to her. She said, "Nothing." He said to her, "It's okay, you can tell me. I'm always ready to hear you out." She said, "I was just thinking about how the world came to be like this, and how I am going to survive the next round." He said, "Don't worry about the next round. You have me. What is there to be anxious about? You worry too much. You should just rely on me." She smiled and said, "Sure. Who else would I trust if you're not you?" Despite being in the other world, Aaron was not completely alone. She had her bodyguard, who was 29 years old, with her when she completed the quest to defeat 100 goblins in the first round. It was not an easy mission, but with the help of her bodyguard, she managed to clear it. That effect of the random rune pieces she received was also significant. She felt that she could trust her bodyguard to help her through any situation. Her bodyguard said, "I'll protect you, no matter what, so don't give up." She looked at him and said, "Okay, thank you so much." Aaron remembered previous incident, and she said, "By the way, about earlier, I guess we have new neighbors downstairs. The rice cake looked yummy. You'll gain weight if you eat stuff like that. But they were just being nice to us. You probably hurt their feelings." "It's fine, they weren't just being nice. I'm sure they were going that to get something back from us. They would have us bothered if we had taken that rice cake." Aaron remembered that that's two young men who she met in the hallway. They both looked friendly. Then she said, "One of the two looked like he was over 15. He must have killed 100 goblins and survived too, right? That's amazing. To think someone who's gone through such a cruel experience can look so calm." Her bodyguard said, "You did it too. It's not that hard to kill 100 goblins. The ones who couldn't were just idiots." The bodyguard's skill was outstanding to the extent that he caught the goblins really fast. However, not as much as that guy Black Scythe. I almost felt bad for the goblins while watching him. He must also have a job in the real world. I wonder he does. I could survive that second round if I'm with him. I was lucky to stay alive after this round, but will I be able to survive the next one too? If she could team up with such a skilled person, her chance of surviving the second round would improve. It would be her top choice for a partner. Time passed, and it was now Monday, January 31st. Ryo visited the bank to collect his 5th consecutive first-place prize. The bank manager's expression showed surprised and said, "You're here again? What's your secret? Thought I told you last week. It's CSME to me in a dream. How amazing. I wish I could get those dreams too." When Ryo returned and told his brother about what happened, one said, "Anyway, are you going to put it all into Bitcoin again?" "Yeah, it has grown to 150 billion. One replied, "Shouldn't we sell?" I'm scared the value is gonna go down." Ryo had been investing his lotto winnings and into Bitcoin, which had the results, and his funds growing to over 150 billion. One didn't try to stop his brother. However, he was worried that he was becoming too complacent, and it was afraid that something bad might happen if he continued to take risks. "Let's go eat lunch," Ryo suggested, trying to change the subject. The brothers eat lunch and dinner outside before returning home and waiting for midnight. The second round is about to begin. Ryo lying in bed in his secure bedroom. One said, "You have to come back alive." Ryo said confidently, "Don't worry, you see me overpower even bang to you." One said, "Still, please be careful." Ryo said, reassuring his brother, "Don't worry, just get some sleep. When you wake up, I'll be up to. See you." February 1st just struck midnight. Ryo's body collapsed into the bed. When he opened his eyes, Ryo found himself in a different location. It was standing in a clearing surrounded by a forest, a different environment from the meadow of the first round. The survivors of the first round arrived. "Are we here? But where are we? This isn't the location that was in the first round. That person. He's the one who got rank 1 in the last round." Ryo said silently, "Hey, it seems like most people recognize me. They're all keeping their distance from me. It looks like everyone's here. I wonder when she appear." As accepted, Ryumin and his friends were also present, and their larger builds made them easy to spot. It wasn't answer approximately 5,000 people had gathered in the forest. Then the angel appeared in the sky, and she said, "Are you all here?" It wasn't the angel from the previous round, and of course it wasn't the same engine from the first round because Ryo had killed her. The angel said, "The angel that was in charge of the first round had an accident and couldn't come. But don't panic, humans." The newly appointed angel's laughter sounded strong. Unlike her beautiful appearance, she said, "I'll guide you from here." The angel flapped her wings as everyone stared at her. She said, "Now, since everyone's here, I'll tell you about the second round's quest. The second round has begun. Main quest is, you must select a district representative in 3 hours. All participants who shot the mission for round 2 were surprised, and they said, "Pick a zone representative? What is that? I thought we were going to be fighting monsters again. What? Look at the number of people who passed. Does that mean we all get to survive this round?" Many parts of the quest message left them confused. The angel laughed. She said, "You all look very confused. Seems like you need me to explain. As you can see, this round is not a combat round. You just need to choose a zone representative, that's all. If you become the zone representative, you can force people to do things. You can force them to crawl or die. Isn't it amazing authoritative power? 3 hours from now, you'll be able to vote. You just need to use that to choose your zone representative." Suddenly, a brave young man raised his hand and asked, "Is that Reddit? There's nothing more." "Correct. If you're just vote, you'll be counted as someone who passed and you will be returned home. It's a kind of rest round." Most players were relieved that the quest was easier than they thought. They said, "You can pass just by voting. We won't die. We don't need to fight. It's way too easy compared to the last round." The angel said, "Then discuss who you will choose to be the zone's representative for the next 3. As soon as the angel disappeared, a message appeared, "Time remaining until voting 3 hours. We'll leave as long as we just bought after 3 hours? That's awesome. And you even get authoritative power if you become the zone's representative." Ryumin said angrily, I was really prepared to fight. How lame. Youngmin, just let it go. They'll let us live if we just vote. Why is that something to complain about? I've invested everything into my straight state, but I don't even get to use it. That's so frustrating. The second round has begun. Main quest is. Ryo overheard their conversation nearby and said, his strength stat. I guess he got the rune of strength then. Youngmin's rune and this situation. Everything's happening the way it's always has. Did all talk about who to vote for the next 3 hours. But that's not what's important right now. If there's a main quest, then there must be a sub-quest. And second around sub-quest/hidden quest is class selection. It's to obtain a class. In order to do that, I need to reach level 10 fast. Ryo's friend's goal was to reach level 10 as soon as possible to advance to the next job. That was why he had come into the forest. If he goes deep into the forest, hobgoblins appear. There's something drop items and other useful things. Both hobgoblins and their larger cousins, hobgoblins, were better for experience and stronger than goblins. However, they were still not much as a challenge for Ryo. Ryo wasn't drawn into this bloody game to chit-chat 4 hours with people. The forest itself was a good hunting ground, and if he wasted his time discussing the election, he would gain nothing. Only those who step up to gain something will discover that existence of sub-quest. As he wandered through the forest, he would encounter monsters, and as he hunted, he would gain experience points and eventually reach level 10. The sub-quest window only appeared if they enter the forest, and then the world realized that discussion was not the answer to this around. Of course, the position of district representative looks good, but it's a position that only 1 out of 5,000 people can get. It's better to give up early. Furthermore, since it was Poison Chalice from the beginning, it was better not to even consider it. Ryo believed that the key to this round was to hunt and become stronger as much as possible. Suddenly, Ryo was hobgoblin emerged from behind a tree, holding a hunting knife in his hand. The hobgoblins, who was slightly larger than a hobgoblin and looked somewhat intimidating, but it was nothing more than a toy in Ryo's eyes. Ryo said, "Come!" Ryo snapped his fingers. The hobgoblin rushed towards him, apparently insulted, but Ryo didn't stand there. As Ryo moved, the distance between him and the hobgoblin rapidly decreased. Before the hobgoblin could react, Ryo's stilettos plunged into Trat. You have defeated a hobgoblin. Current kill count 1 of 100. XP plus 9%. Gold plus 15. All stats will be increased by 1% due to the effects of Rune of Slaughter. Ryo said it was a good idea to come deep into the forest to hunt. And where there is one goblin, there is always more. As expected, there was another hobgoblin nearby. Hobgoblins never roam alone. Ryo grinned and ran towards the hobgoblin. Current kill count 5. All stats will be increased by 50% due to the effect of Rune of Slaughter. You have lived up. There are 3 hours and 30 minutes left until the vote. Ryo had raised his level from 5 to 9, and just 30 minutes of hunting. Before he knew it, Ryo had reached level where he could change his job if he gained just 10,000 more experience points. Ryo said, I already reached level 9. I'll put the point of agility. It makes sense to put it into strength if you're Youngmin and have the rune of strength. But that's not the best idea in all cases. You'll just end up dead if you aren't fast enough to dodge a critical attack even if you're really strong. A player's stats consists of 4 categories: strength, intelligence, agility, and luck. Strength increases physical damage, health, and defense, while intelligence increases magical damage, mental power, and thinking speed. Agility increases attack speed, movement speed, and dodge rate. Luck increases critical hit rate, item drop rate, and additional gold. All of them are important, basically. The Grim Reaper class uses both physical and magical damages, so it's best to raise all stats equally. As Ryo prepared to resume hunting, he heard a rustling sound. He said silently, "Would you look at that? There's someone follow me. I wasn't able to pay attention because I was busy fighting, but seems like I have company." That hasn't happened before. Ryo pointed his blood-stained dagger towards the direction of the sound and said, "I don't know how you are, but show yourself. Come out and reveal your intentions." Otherwise, you better be prepared for death. The stalker revealed himself from behind a tree, and it was SCYTHE Ryumin. Ryo wondered to himself, that person, the actores, she was the one following me. Just as Ryo was about to ask why she was being followed, a man emerged from behind a tree, and it appeared that SCYTHE Ryumin was not the only one following Ryo. There he said, I'm sorry about that. We didn't follow you with bad intentions, so please calm down. However, Ryo's lips didn't move. He recognized the familiar nickname and face, and he said silently, Sang-kyol, that's Ma Gyunrok's right hand. Ma Gyunrok is the oldest son of the nation's biggest corporate who goes by the user name Heavenly Demon. Is one of the people I'm after. Having him on my side would make it easier for me to get stronger, but I also need priest who has a connection to Ma Gyunrok to be on my side for that 20th round. I didn't expect to meet Ma Gyunrok's right hand so early on. But why is he going around with SCYTHE Ryumin? Could it be that man that was with her yesterday? Now that I think about it, I did hear that Ma Gyunrok's company sponsored celebrities. Ryo asked, how long have you been following me? From the beginning, we started following you after we saw you enter the forest. I'm sorry if the upset you. Ryo asked, why did you follow me? SCYTHE Ryumin replied nervously, not for any bad reason. I wanted to offer you something. An offer? Yes, you got first in the first round, so I thought maybe we could be in the team together. A team? Isn't word only applicable if you are of use to me? She replied, that's true. Then Ryo said, I don't need you guys. I'm doing fine on my own. Stop wasting my time with this nonsense and go back. I don't have any desire from a team. Ryo, turning his back as if there was nothing left to see. As he disappeared into the forest, Sang-kyol expressed his dissatisfaction, and he said, what the hell? Is seriously arrogant. On the other hand, SCYTHE Ryumin, visibly relieved, slumped to the ground, and she said, I got is not first from no reason. His aura was so intimidating. Intimidating. Not even. Cool wouldn't be intimidated if you put a knife to their face. I want to be on the same time as him that didn't work out. What did I tell you? I told you the people like him have strong egos and don't even work in teams. It's not a shame. It's a shame that we wasted our time following that guy around. Ryumin said, but I didn't expect there to be monsters in this forest. Should we hunt the masters in the remaining time too? Well, that's not a bad idea, let's go. Ryo dismissed SCYTHE Ryumin's proposal without a second thought and continued his hunt for Hobgoblin. While he is fighting, he said, I am already busy enough, but they want me to be in their team? What's most important right now is to level up. Current kill count, 60 of 100. All stats will be increased by 60% due to the effects of Rune of Slaughter. At that moment, 5 more monsters appear. Ryo smiled and said, this many gnolls at once? I got lucky. The goblins run towards him, but they couldn't even touch him. They were easy to handle, though, to his agile movement. Death was inevitable. You have defeated the gnolls. Experience point 3x buff is applied. Experience point plus 7. 2% gold plus 20 current kill count. 65 100. All stats are increased by 65% due to the Rune of Slaughter effect. You have leveled up. You have reached level 10. You have fulfilled the conditions for class selection.